Welcome to a quick sharp review of 20th Century Boys by Naoki Urasawa. These are the perfect editions. It's the whole series plus 21st Century Boys, which is just a continuation of the story. I'm going to be talking a bit about the physical release of these. I'm going to be talking about the story itself, and then lastly what music I'd recommend listening to when reading it. Now, just off the bat, you can see that the spines make up this nice picture. I love when spines make up a picture like this. You can sort of just see it. Even in real life, it's not super obvious as well. It's very subtle, but nice all the same. They didn't need to do this, so I'm glad they did. And we can see that each of the titles here has a different color. And I mean, sort of loosely, it doesn't really correspond with the colors that are on the covers themselves. I like these covers a lot. Really nice artwork in all of these, just showing some of the characters that pop up throughout the series. Really nice, and they've got this sort of lenticular 20th Century Boys title there, and some of them are slightly different. Like this one has 20th Century Boys written up here, but it just has this Yuhu Kenji-kun, come on, let's play. Yeah, really cool, creepy sort of stuff. These are all 2-in-1s, so it collects the whole thing, which would be 24 volumes. I think I've got my maths right there. So a big series, well worth collecting. The interior of the book, the backs usually have some sort of panel from the manga as well. Again, I like that rather than just putting the same picture as on the front, in a different sort of sepia tone. They have these, I don't know what these are called. These things don't have anything in there, but they've all got a different picture on the inside. It's usually something that happens within that volume. Oh, how good's that? Creepy, awesome. The paper quality itself is okay. These are all printed in Canada as the first printing, and I found there was a fair bit of more bleed through. I don't want to show the last volume because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I thought that the print quality probably dropped off as these got released. I'll see if I can find just a quick little early bit here. Yeah, I can't really see it that well. But overall, I think fairly good quality. There are a few little color pages here and there in this, which is always nice to see. Not any different paper quality though. It's all the same, sort of just paper. The binding is glued and holds together pretty well. Even I'm giving it a pretty good stretch right now. And then they've also got, these are ones that have, a bit of translator editor notes. I quite like that. They're sound effect gallery ones, so they haven't changed the actual sound effects within the thing, which I actually prefer it when they change them, because I'm never going to go back to the back here and go, like, Jesus, like 400 of these. Who has time? So that's sort of the, and then we've got also at the front, usually, table of contents, and in every volume except for the first one, this page is actually a glossy page, and then there's a table of contents, and then we also have characters as well, which I quite like. This manga has become one of my favorite manga I've ever read, and I've only just read it recently when I bought these. It is phenomenal, and I would recommend it to everybody who is a fan of Urasawa's other work, Monster. I actually think it's better than Monster. Monster gets a lot of credit. It's a great series. It should get the credit. I think this is overall a better series. Maybe it just speaks more to me. The plot is mostly around this group of men who were kids, friends when they were kids, and then a lot of mysterious deaths start happening, and they feel like it's related to a cult that relates back to something from their childhood, and they think maybe someone from their childhood that they that is leading this cult, and that's not a spoiler. That happens like very early on, and then the rest of the series is just this amazing amazing journey, so epic, and you know, spanning sort of different time frames because we're talking about them as kids and as adults. The twists and turns within this manga were truly unbelievable, even to the end. I could not guess what was going on in certain areas, and I couldn't guess certain mysteries that then were revealed. And you can look back and see that the seeds that were planted throughout the series. So I think this is going to be a really fun one to reread at some point. But I would highly recommend anybody who is interested in manga, storytelling, thrillers, mysteries, or anything to give this a shot. Excellent series. Really good. I can't speak highly enough about it. I was just gripped throughout the whole thing. Obviously, I need to take breaks every now and then because it's, you know, a lot of book, and I didn't want it to end, so I've been reading it over the last few months. Fantastic work. And what made it even better was I made a playlist specifically for the reading experience. I put in a lot of anime OST that is very much to do with it's like very sort of intrigue and tense sort of music. There's nice light moments. They're fairly rare in this series, but there is, you know, songs in there for that. There's songs in there for fast-paced action, which there is a bit, but most of this series, similar to Monster, is, you know, investigating and things are creeping around, and there's plots within plots, and bad people who are part of an organization, all this really good stuff. So I would highly recommend listening to the playlist that I made. I'll put a link in the description. I made it specifically for this. I've also put there's references to, you know, songs from the 60s and 70s, the time period when these guys were growing up. I've put those songs in there as well, and those should be listened to at those moments because I think that's the way that Urasawa intended it. There is also one particular song that was, you know, created for this manga by Urasawa himself. It is not on Spotify. I highly recommend, if you are reading this, to, whenever that song is played, go look it up on YouTube and play it. The song is called Bob Lennon, and you'll know when it comes up because the lyrics and stuff will be there in the book. And I would highly recommend turning that on, going onto YouTube and turning it on. I think there is a YouTuber called Bob Lennon. I don't know his work, but that came up every time I tried to search for this. I was just in the middle of reading and I'd be like, oh, get away from me, Bob Lennon, give me the song. But it's a cool song, and it fits in really nicely with the events that are happening, and it just elevated the whole thing. I think music can do so much to elevate the reading experience, and particularly with this series, because I made the playlist, and yeah, I think it's really good. So, you know, take advantage of it. It's there. I've done it for you. Do you like 20th Century Boys? Do you think it's better than Monster like I do? I'm a big fan of it. Looking forward to watching the new Pluto anime as well. That looks amazing. I haven't read the manga for that. But maybe I will, and maybe I'll review it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks, bye.